Seems that we've got some new Xenos cavalry inbound. Let's take a look at this new Kroot Lone operative, talk about the model and the rules that he'll be using in-game. Hello and welcome back to Warspets Tactics, where today we're talking Games Workshop model reveals once more, and today Games Workshop have given us an interesting new Kroot miniature, a curious lone operative cavalry character who seems to be able to guide the kindred with some fairly savage damage boosts. It seems that Games Workshop really isn't taking their foot off the pedal with these Kroot launch reveals. So far we've had the Hunting Pack box with the Flesh Shaper and War Shaper, those mighty Krootox Rampagers, the Krootox Rider and the new Carnivores, and then since then we've had a bunch more reveals on the weeks after, that limited edition Kroot Carnivore, the Kroot Hounds and the Trail Shaper last week. Now we have a rather fun, awesome cavalry character in the Lone-Spear. This one apparently with the choice to arm him as a anti-heavy infantry or tank buster versus a sniper. I think the biggest question for the Kroot release is whether or not this is it or whether we're going to be expecting more next week. I feel like the most obvious question on the Kroot players' minds might be whether or not we're getting a Greater Narlock in plastic. If we are, then I guess we'll be looking for next Monday. I'd say that'll be the most likely time that we'll see it, in a similar sort of way that Games Workshop saved the Orc kill rig till last for the Orky reveals when they came out. I'm really hoping that we might get a plastic Greater Narlock as a big fighty and dangerous centerpiece to a Kroot army, though I guess only time will tell. I'll certainly look forward to covering that next week if we do see one. In this video though, let's take a look at the Lone-Spear character. As I mentioned in a few previous videos, I will be doing a giveaway for the Kroot box set whenever that should release. I'll post out 6 of these Kroot Hunting Force box sets to channel viewers, and if you want to hear a little bit more about how to enter that, I'll cycle back to it at the end of the video. Focusing on the subject in hand though, this looks like it's the answer to the Mystery Rider miniature that we had in the teaser trailer at the end of December. An individual Kroot Rider hefting some sort of Kroot rifle or sniper rifle with a spotter scope. The ridges on the cavalry made it look not really quite the same as a Narlock Rider. I'd guess it would either be a new shaper variant to lead the Hounds or the Rampagers, or a scout or spotter character, and it seems that the latter of the two was right. Now he's revealed this guy is apparently called a Kroot Lone-Spear. The lore behind him is apparently he's an isolated Kroot who'll fight apart from his kin band for one reason or another, either due to being exiled or dishonoured, or just preferring to have a nomadic existence fighting alone. These guys are apparently invaluable trackers, scouts, and intelligence gatherers, still often maintaining friendly ties with the kin bands in times of war, and the preferred mount is this chameleonic beast known as a Calamandra, a fun sort of chameleon lizard type thing that can change its skin colour to blend in with its environment if needed. So a very stealthy and presumably fairly dangerous beast to ride into battle all in all. Apparently this guy will be released in the second wave after the Hunting Pack box set. I guess it's going to be kind of similar to how the Dark Angels came out. They'd have the big launch box set first and people would get their hands on the codex, and then it'd be quite a few weeks later until the actual mainline release for the new Kroot range comes out along with the Tau codex. It seems now for the Dark Angels that was a 5-week lag time, so I'd expect somewhere around then. Could be a little bit faster, could be a little bit slower. For a pricing guess for this guy, if he's the same as the Interrogator Chaplain on bike, who feels like a fairly equivalent miniature, that would land him at £32.50, $55 or €42.50. I wouldn't really be too surprised if he is a little bit more expensive than your average character, given he gets a character mount. Obviously, if it happened to be a little bit less than that, that would certainly be good news. Miniature-wise, it looks like the model has 2 different builds. You can either assemble the guy with an explosive-tipped hunting spear, maybe not too dissimilar from the Beast Snagger rockets on sticks or Imperial Guard Rough Riders with melter tips. That one apparently is supposed to be used as javelins at close range, could probably pack a little bit more punch in combat as well. The other one has a sniper rifle Kroot long gun. He was the sniper spotter sort of miniature that we had teased in the December previews. It looks like there are a couple of head swaps, both a different option for the rider and for the Calamandra thing that he's mounted on. Looks like you can change the positioning on that beastie's head, either having it a bit more low to the ground or rearing up and paying attention. In any case, it looks pretty similar to what I'd expect for a sort of Kroot mounted cavalry miniature. He's got quite a lot of woven armour plating, and the spear one gets a fair few other javelins slung onto the mounted saddle. Rules-wise, given it a sort of stealthy sort of nature, and literally having the word lone in his title, I'd be kind of amazed if he wasn't a lone operative miniature, so that'd be no shooting at greater than 12 inches, and having that combined with at least a fairly fast movement profile is generally good news for him. Fast moving and somewhat tough lone operatives are generally just handy to have around. I'd guess somewhere like a 10-inch move would be kind of likely for him, that would put him similar to other cavalry miniatures around there. For actual rules previews, Games Workshop have given us the stat line on the Kroot long gun, a single shot at strength 6, AP -2 and damage 3 with heavy and precision. I can't really see him being a particularly interesting miniature just for raw damage dealing, unless he was ridiculously cheap. That long gun is at least a fairly meaty profile, but it only gives you, say, around about less than a third chance of penetrating a Space Marine's armor with that damage, and it only goes up a little bit if he's completely stationary. The explosive tipped javelins, Games Workshop said, were fairly strong against heavy infantry, and a lucky hit could do well against a vehicle. Maybe that means they'll be sort of mid-strength, sort of special weapon sort of tier. Would be kind of nice if they had, say, an anti-vehicle or anti-monster sort of profile, maybe. It looks like his main rule, though, is actually going to be a buffing character. If he hits something in the shooting phase, then you get this advanced scouting special rule, where basically if this model gets a ranged attack that hits an enemy unit, until the end of the turn, each time a Kroot model from your army makes an attack that targets that unit, you get to re-roll the hit roll. As character buffs go, that is a very, very strong one, I think. I guess it kind of depends on what other boosts and buffs the Kroot have out there within their own unique detachment, or any of those various shaper classes that we've seen so far. But provided the Kroot at least have some good damage dealers, then that could be really quite a powerful thing to mark a target for the rest of the Kimban to pile on damage. With a rule worded like that, it means that you could just have one of these marking a target for, say, 3 Krootox riders with those big Kroot guns. You'd get a lot more accuracy out of them there. It does sound like it applies to both range damage as well as melee damage, so I could see theoretically this guy just taking a pot shot, hitting an enemy unit, and then you plan to charge that unit with the Krootox Rampagers later in the turn, making all their attacks just very dangerous and very accurate. There might actually be a bit more incentive just to keep him static as a buffing gun turret. If you can get that hit on a 2+ with the longer range sniper rifle, that feels like the most reliable way to deliver that. Though I guess we'll have to see if it actually makes sense to build around the Kroot units as your primary damage dealers in the army list. Hopefully they'll be good enough to get there, but if so, this guy feels like he could certainly be a powerful part of the puzzle. Overall, seems quite fun to me though. A cool cavalry miniature riding a great big chameleonic beastie, a fairly powerful buffing special rule, and some fun lore. Seems like another very worthy addition to the Kroot range. It is funny that Kroot seem to be having a range that's going to be rifling leagues of Votan and having more unique miniatures than World Eaters. Just to quickly recap their models, we've had the Trail Shaper with the big redeploy special rules, plus a reactive move for his units. Kroot Hounds that seem to have had their charge threat range extended with a big advance and charge on offer. Seems like they'll remain very nice for screening outriders. Within the Kroot Hunting Pack box set, we've got the new sculpt for the blinged up Krootox Rider. Hopefully he'll be at least some fairly efficient heavy autocannon fire as general purpose damage dealing. The Krootox Rampagers feel like they could be one of the most important units. If these guys wind up being an actually good melee threat, it's going to be big for the Tau, and they feel like one of the units that's got some of the most chance of actually carrying the Kroot against heavier armies, which before now at least they kind of struggled with, not having much high strength or high damage attacks. There's the new sculpts for the Kroot Carnivores, coming with a new Tangle Bomb launcher, and just kind of similar miniatures but sharper and some slightly different posing. Then finally there's the 2 Kroot Shapers from the Hunting Pack, the War Shaper and the Flesh Shaper. Kroot appear to have gone from having 1 character to field with the Shaper to a big 4 of them. Way more love and attention than I thought the Games Workshop would give them. I thought it would be a fairly no-frills update of their generic kits and little more. Finally, we've got the event-exclusive Hunter Strikes miniature that is kind of a fun one, but really not too much more than a standard Kroot Carnivore in a fun pose. He has managed to bring some spare ribs along of doubtful provenance. And the first wave of the Kroot set is all going to be coming in that Kroot Hunting Pack box set. The launch box for the Kroot, which I'd hope will not be too far away now that we've got the main Dark Angels release out the way. I can see this coming at least fairly soon. Hopefully we'll get an announcement within the next 2 weeks or so. In any case, let me know what you make of that new Lone-Spear miniature. Look forward to hearing your thoughts down in the comments. As mentioned earlier, I'll just cycle back to mention the Kroot giveaway for the big Hunting Pack box set. This one's going to be one of the 6 Hunting Pack box sets, the one with the 20 Carnivores, 2 Shapers, 3 Krootox Rampagers, 1 Krootox and the Tau Codex. And as per normal, there's going to be 2 equal ways to enter, both of them links down in the video description below. All channel patrons get entered in the draw automatically each month. You can support the Patreon page for any amount, and that is one of the major things that helps me make these videos quite so regularly here on the channel, doing it as my full-time thing. All Patreon backers get entered in the giveaway each and every month. Otherwise, as an alternative, you can choose to support the channel via social media completely for free. To do so, do 3 actions: subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the Facebook page. And then to actually enter in for the giveaway into the draw, a post appears on the 1st of March on the channel's Facebook page. Respond to that with a photo of any 40k mini or imagery, along with your name and the date handwritten within the same photo. The photo bits just to deter Facebook bots and spammers. Then when all the entries are in, I put everyone into a random number generator, the Patreons and the Facebook comment posts equally. Pick out the winners, in this case 6 of them, and I'll announce them on the 4th of March in the regularly scheduled channel update video here on YouTube. If Games Workshop is a bit slow about releasing these, the boxes will be posted after I receive them, so it might be a little bit after the winner announcements, but they will come out just as soon as I get my orders in. In any case, feel free to check out the Patreon or the Facebook for further giveaways each and every month. There'll be something of equivalent size each month going forward. In any case, look forward to hearing your thoughts on the new Kroot miniature and the Kroot range in general. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and feel free to subscribe to Auspex Tactics if you'd like to see more like this. I'll certainly keep up with Games Workshop's news and releases as they come out. Finally, if you have been enjoying all the videos on the channel, as well as entries to the giveaways, there's a few more advantages for supporting the channel on Patreon. You can see certain videos early, there's regular votes to see what sort of things come next on the channel, and other things like your name in the credits or other bits, so feel free to check out that link in the video description. In any case, an enormous thank you for listening, and I'll hope to see you guys next time.